with this last and final gateway, which are called seal codes. Carrie's got 3 seal codes, one for ELA Session 1, Session 2, and Session 3, and kids will not be able to log in. Kids will not be able to take this test until they have this seal code. For that reason, it's important to keep these secure. You don't want to be giving out seal codes for Session 3 ahead of time because theoretically, students could take the test during the day or even at home because this is just a web-based service. One way of preventing that is by stopping the test session at the end of each day or by keeping your seal codes secure. What I would do is pull up seal codes, Control P in order to get a printing function up, and then print those and keep them in a secure location. Another option would be to just write these down or keep them on your computer screen, write them on the whiteboard the day of testing. But the key is don't put the seal code up until you're ready for kids to take the test. A good way to think of seal codes is to think of them as seals. Just like when the kids broke a seal on the ISAT test, you didn't want them to break that seal until they were actually going to take the test. That's what these seal codes do in a digital form. So those are seal codes. All right, and we're going to move on when we look here. Now after you've given kids the seal codes and you've launched the test, it's active, you're going to be helping kids to log in. You can see on this screen that kids are ready but are not logged in. You can click on one of these students and you can actually see individualized progress, total items, the percent of the test that they've taken, and you can actually look through each of these items if you want to be kind of snoop and see. You'd have to hit refresh, but you can view. So that's a nice piece of the dashboard feature for the teacher proctor to use if you want to kind of monitor how kids are doing. There are also some other reports and resources here that you can use, which we can look at later dates. The main thing is that you want to make sure each kid gets in, and that's kind of the next step. And remember, they're going to need seal codes, and they're going to need their tickets. You want to prepare those the day before or the day of, and make sure you distribute those to kids so that you're not running around like crazy trying to get them their passwords and stuff. Now, the next step I want to take everybody through is to take you through the process students are going to go through in order to log in. This also starts on the station webpage. And like I had showed you before, starts under Student Resources and PARCC. All right, so students are going to be taken to a page where they sign in. And remember when we looked at Carrie's tickets? We're going to use Anna Aguilar, and we're going to log in as her, because now Carrie's session is live, and it's basically waiting for Anna, down here the list somewhere, and Anna's going to need to log in. So we're going to go to this, we went to this website, we're going to type this in, and then we're going to type this in. So if you remember from looking at that, Anna's number, and this is what Anna's going to, each student's going to need to do this. Anna's going to have to type in this. This is her unique password, 6847. 493529. And then she's going to have a unique password as well. And the password is the same for every English language arts test. In this case, it's 7AC, 7C6. Nice and easy. Okay, and now all the student has to do is click Login. By the way, when we go through infrastructure testing, the tech department does have some screenshots to help you guide students through some of these pop-ups that happen. The bottom line is you want to run anything that comes from Java, and you want to allow all pop-ups that the system asks you to. So when Anna logs in, we're going to say, run this. Yes, please. And it's going to load and load. And now you see this pop-up notification. We want to allow everything. Okay, now be careful and make sure kids are careful. We want to allow pop-ups from this test navigator, and that's going to allow the system to run. A lot of the features of the test navigator are pop-up driven. And you'll notice By the way, we referred to the dashboard. We talked about that being the test wizard. We're going to talk about this being the test navigator. Test Navigator 8. Versions 1 through 7 didn't get it done, I guess. And so as this loads, it's going to start bringing up information that students are going to need to provide. And it's going to prompt students to put in a seal code, and then it's going to walk them through some of the steps. Now together we're going to wait patiently here. Okay, and so we have a frozen window here. What I'm going to do is click this. I'm going to try this all over again. We don't want to remember the password. Well, it looks like the second time around it's doing something different. All right, and this is what students will see. Okay, it's going to ask if you want to allow full screen access. You do. If you want to allow it, I'm going to say remember this because I want it to be remembered. And I am going to say, now, basically each student is going to have their test system here. Anna Aguilar has her name up here. She's going to start the test. She's going to start the section. And in the real test version, she's going to need a seal code in order to do that. Now, when we do our infrastructure testing, we're going to try to get a grade level at a time on this system, going through these, and I'm going to have them just randomly sort through without paying a whole heck of a lot of attention. Okay? And we're going to go through, and we're not going to pay attention. This test navigator is something that the students have seen at this point, and it does have some features that are unique to PARCC testing that they haven't had before. A lot of dragging and dropping. We're just going to randomly pick things, and it won't let me put too many in there. And so I'm going to get a terrible score because I'm just not even looking at the information. But this is how we're going to go about this just to get through. And we're going to go here, and we're going to go here, and we're going to go here. And we'll go there. Okay. So we're good there. All right, entering this, entering that. Dragging and dropping. Different features of this. This is good for you to kind of understand how this system works. Not terribly hard to use. Pretty intuitive for kids who are used to technology like ours. Going forward, remember kids can flag a question to be reviewed, they can look at their review list, and etc. A large part of this is multiple choice. Make sure kids are understanding they have to scroll down when they have questions that are bigger than the text box. I'm hoping for more and more multiple choice. Feel free to fast forward through this part if you'd like, but I have to get through it. And I got 10 left here. This is the piece that I want during the infrastructure test kids to get through because we want to see how does this video and piece work when a lot of kids are trying to look at video all at the same time. This is the part kids are going to need headphones for.
Curator of great cats at the Smithsonian's National Zoo. The National Zoo.
Kids can pause the video as needed, answering the questions associated with that. Moving on, another video. We're not going to watch that one though. And we got more dragging. Oh, what do we have to do here? We're going to enter something there. Like I said, if you're watching this screencast, feel free to fast forward through this component of it. But it is good to get familiar with the test navigator system that the kids are going to be using. And drag and drop again. Lots of dragging, lots of dropping. And there we go. One more to go after this. I think that's the end. And so kids are going to go through that, and kids are going to say, okay, we've finished the last section of this test. They'll submit their final answers, and then they say, yes, I want to submit my final answers. And that's okay because it was a fake one. And it's going to exit us, logging us out. Okay, now here's one thing the kids have to do. If kids don't finish in time, or the kids are needing to, are in the regular test, they're going to have this pull down menu. If they don't finish, they do have the option to quit the test, even if they're not finished with the test. So if time runs out, or if kids are done, they may have to do this anyway. There's an area under here where now this one just says sign in, but they can also sign out. If they choose the sign out option, it's going to pop up a window that says, hey, are you sure you want to quit? Do you want to resume this test at a later time, or do you want to just quit and leave it? We leave unanswered questions. And so they'll get some warnings and things like that, which are more further detailed in some of the other podcasts that we gave you regarding the Math and English Language Arts Test Navigator. The purpose of this screencast was just to give you an idea of where students go, how to help them get in, and the information they'll need in terms of seal codes and that sort of thing. Now, if we go back here, we're going to refresh this. And if all worked well, we should see that Ana Aguilar has completed the test. Okay, and so you can pull that up. You can see some information regarding this, this test. It will tell you the time that she finished, and based on our testing schedule, you should be able to tell how much time the kid took on it, and you can monitor that throughout as well. So I hope this screencast has been helpful. The one thing that is important for teachers to know is that when everybody has completed or exited, you can then stop the test. And then when you log back in the next day for the following ELA test, you're going to go ahead, you're going to download resources. The seal codes are the only thing that's going to change for session 2 and 3. And you're going to have to go through and click everybody. And you're going to choose a task called Restart Students. So we'll have some more information about that as the real site gets available, but I wanted to make sure you understand that for each subsequent test, you will have an obligation to restart. Think of the ELA test as one big test that has 3 subsections. You got to relaunch each one of those, and that's called restart. The math test is one big math test, and that math test has 2 sections, and you'll have to restart. And this is the way that you do that. I encourage you to watch this video as much as you can tolerate and as much as you need to, but becoming familiar with this, pause it, ask questions. We're here to help. We want to make sure this goes as smooth as possible. Refer to your teacher guide, look for your rosters, and look for all of the other materials to be coming very soon. Thanks for watching and participating in PARCC testing.